Guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Eileen from Makeup by Eileen. If you're already subscribed to this channel, welcome back guys. So for today's video, I thought it'd be really cool to try out. I went to the Panda store here in East London and I thought they have some like fake makeup, or not really fake makeup but cheaper brand makeup that's like knockoffs of high-end, more expensive brands. And this palette really stood out to me. It looks like the Huda Beauty palette, and I do have a W7 eyeshadow palette that is very similar to this, that is like a dupe for the Huda Beauty. This is the Mercury palette. It's from Romantic Color. It's a very pretty looking palette on the outside. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was between 55 rand to 100 rand, so it was very affordable for, if you can get it open, for the amount of eyeshadows that are in here. It comes with a little card. It looks like this. It is, very pretty and vibrant looking. I was really drawn to this like luminous green color, and then obviously the pinks, and you have your pops of neutral, you have 3 glitter shades. So I thought it would be really cool to try out this eyeshadow palette and see if it's worth the money, if the pigments are just as good as more expensive high-end brands as a dupe, a cheaper version if you cannot afford those exorbitant prices. It does have an expiry date on it, which is really awesome. It has a product date and an expiry date, which is really nice. It tells you the net weight. It says, oh, it is not from Romantic Color. It says it's from some funny name over there. I hope you guys can see it, but there's where it actually comes from. So it is not from China, which is quite interesting. So without any further ado, my full face is on, all glammed up, ready to go. Let's jump right into this video. Okay, so my eyes are prepped. I have a primer on. I have everything on my face that I'll list down below. I do have quite a tie-dyed bright shirt on. However, my son is having orientation day at school, and I don't really want to embarrass him because the parents do have to go today, well, this evening. Actually, let's just do it. I can always wipe the eye off and just put some mascara on. I wasn't going to do a crazy look, but I really want to test out these bright colors because we all know bright yellows, greens, blues, pinks, and then they are very hard to get the pigment. So you know what? Let's play with the shimmers. Let's play with the glitters. Let's play with these bright colors. I don't know where is this color now. I've lost it. Okay, it's over here. This purpley mauve color. I hope you guys can see it on camera, but it actually has like a fine glitter. It could just be a top spray, but it's actually not. If I rub into it, it's a very subtle glitter. That's what wasn't very impressive, but I thought let's just play with it and see what this palette is all about, if it's worth the money. What I really like is this whole top section is a nice mirror. It is a very good quality mirror, so that's kind of a plus. It does have names on the palette, but as you can see, it's like a mermaid effect around the shadows, and then it's like the silver holographic name. So without glasses I won't be able to tell you the names of it, but I will put them inserts on the screen so you guys can see the shade names, although no one shade is very similar. Let me stop rambling off and just jump into playing with this. I'm just going to take my little beauty sponge and just make sure my eyes are nice and even and not creased out. Okay. What should we do? I was thinking of doing like, does green and pink go together? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to go to this green shade over here. Not on the lid, just like in the crease, or we can just put it everywhere and we can cut the crease, because I haven't done a cut crease in a hot minute. So I think I'm going to grab, which I didn't even put out, and on it, just grab a few more brushes. Okay, I'm going to grab a tiny little packing brush. Let's use the brush that I actually stained green, this guy over here, and I'm going to grab this color, which it seems to come up. Actually, I know I'm all over the place today. I'm quite tired. My little nephew was sick last night, and it was my son's birthday, so we didn't get too much sleep. I'm just going to put some loose powder, which I don't often do, but just in case, because I've never worked with these shadows before, just in case we get some crazy fallout, because that's not going to be very cute at all. So I'm just going to lay some loose powder down there. Might as well just put it on my nose too, in case it fluffs up there. And I've got some product on the brush, which you can see is pretty intense. Let me scooch my mirror closer and pray that this is a genuinely good product. Eyeshadow. Oh, that looks a little bit disappointing. Must admit, I was expecting a lot more color payoff. But hey, that's what's all right. Let's actually do a little, like if you look at the finger swatch, it looks really pretty. When you lay it down, it kind of disappears a little bit. Let's see what it does if we wet it a little bit. I don't typically wet my mattes, but let's see. Like I always say, there's no rule to makeup, just things you should follow. Okay, this is really disappointing, guys. I thought this eyeshadow would be a little bit more intense. You can't really build it up. When you go to build it up, it kind of disappears, and I am using a packing brush to try get the most of the color payoff. I mean, there's definitely color there, but nothing like you would get in your James Charles palette. So, but I mean, then again, it's not the price of a James Charles palette, so there's that to it too. Okay, let's just do that. Maybe it's just the green. I know yellows are very hard to do, so maybe this green's kind of got a yellow tint to it. And I mean, it isn't the most luxe palette, it is really cheap, so I'm not that mad. I would have preferred obviously some more color payoff, but I mean, I'm not going to scream the roof down. If I paid a few thousand for this palette, I would definitely not be impressed. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm actually shocked it's got any pigment at all. Okay, I think that's as much color payoff as we're going to get. Let's go in to this peachy corally shade over here and hope and pray that it's got more pigment to it, which it does. Like, oh my gosh, seriously, let's watch this guy. There's the color on my finger. Like, are you joking? Why couldn't the green be like this? Like, seriously? Come on, guys. But anyway, it is what it is. Just trying to lay that color down where I want it. I know it looks a little bit cray-cray right now, but once we've blended, it's gonna look a lot better, I promise. Okay. Going to go in with this pink color over here, this bright pinky purple color, and I'm gonna lay that just next to that coral color. Let's see if this doesn't look, it's actually, it seems like some are more tightly pressed than others. Okay, that's got no pigment. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to stuff around too much. I'm going to bring that out a little bit more, that coral color. And we're going to use this purpley pink shade to blend the green, but it's not the best brush. Let's clean off this brush. Let's grab that purple. I'm going to use this pinky purple color to blend the green and the coral together, because it's such a soft, for like a fuchsia looking color, it's really got almost no pigment. Okay, do that. Let's try to do this side. So I'm just going like in between the two colors, trying to get some color payoff there. Let's see if we wet this guy a little bit. I must admit, I didn't go in with high hopes, but I'm a little more disappointed than what I thought I would be. I was really hoping this would turn into a good. Actually, that purpley pink, slightly dampened, does a little bit more than that green did. It's almost like it's wiping the colors away. Anyway, okay, let's try that green. I'm going to load up this brush. I'm going to drench it. And I'm going to try to stamp. Like this could go horribly wrong or like actually work. Just get a little bit more. I'm sure if I used a white eyeshadow base it would probably work a little bit better, but I mean, it should. It's actually looking a bit patchy. You guys can tell, but that could be because I've wet the brush like crazy. Sorry guys, I'm just blowing because I'm literally like flaking color into my eyeball. It's like the more you try pack on, the more it actually just crumbles off. I think I must just leave it alone. Say leave it alone and then whoops, carry on. See, I can get both sides even. we're not going to salvage this any more than what it is at the moment. Let's grab this guy over here and get this beautiful blue shade over here and hope and pray that gives us some salvage. I mean, it doesn't look bad on camera, but in person it looks pretty shit, but so I'm not going to be like, oh, it doesn't look bad, guys, but it's actually really crappy. Not about that. This blue, however, hello, pigment. It's so refreshing when a color doesn't have, or an eyeshadow doesn't have any pigment, and then you pick up one and it's got like band pigment and you're like, okay, yes please. So I mean, there's some hits and there's some misses here, but I think it's kind of like that with everything in life. Not everything can be perfect. Just stamping that in to kind of make like a wing with the color, and I'm just putting it on the outer edge of the lid of the eye like that. Let's do the same thing on this side. And mixing it with that coral shade is giving it a bit of a purple vibe. One thing I will say, it's like the more you try blend, the more color it actually picks up and takes off your eye. So it just goes to show, guys, cheap isn't always better. Okay. Sorry guys, I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, I'm gonna go in and pray that this works with this like peachy color, and I'm just gonna work it under the brow bone. And see if I can blend the line we have going here. If the shade isn't pigmented enough, I'm going to go into a slightly darker shade. Which is kind of helping a little bit. I'm going in with a slightly more pink and gently, oh no, that was a complete stuffer. Okay. Let's get a brush and fluff that pink away. Actually, I might need to clear that pink away. It looks like I'm from like, is it the 80s? With this pink right under the brow bone. And it didn't look shimmery, but coming off a little bit shimmery. So let's just clean that up. So take my sponge and neaten up there a little bit. Okay. Fix that blue and the coral. Okay. Now let me not be a nana. Let's go in with the this color over here, which is more of a neutral tone. Just make sure, because sometimes these colors can look a little bit different in the pan. I have to put some more of that coral down because it's just wiping it away. You know, when something like just doesn't go the way you want it, you actually just feel like giving up. That's how I'm feeling. Okay, that's probably the best we're going to get it, and it looks pretty crappy, but this is a live, honest review. Now this side's behaving a little bit better. Okay, just going to take some translucent powder on a fluffy crease brush, and I'm just going to work that just to tone that peachy color down a little bit. Wow. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Comment down below, you guys, what you think looks like. Obviously it's pretty shitty, it's not a high-end palette. I'm just going to try and mesh these colors together a little bit. I actually almost feel like I'm doing that 3-color swap TikTok hack again, where they just don't do what they're supposed to do. I don't know what the fudge is going on here. I think that's as best as we're going to get it. I'm just going to fix this blue shade here, because it's looking a bit crazy. Maybe for your child that likes bright colors, this might be a nice palette for them, but for me this is just pissing me off. Okay, I'm going to take some concealer because I don't feel like getting up and fetching my primer again. I'm going to grab a little brush and I'm going to gently cut the crease. To cut crease. It's so funny because like I thought to myself, there's no ways this is gonna work. Like there's no ways this palette is going to do what it should do if it was a Huda Beauty or like W7. I think their palettes, W7 Cosmetics, I think their palettes are like 200 to 300 rand a palette. They are like a dupe brand, so you're not getting Huda Beauty or whatever, but they are flipping good. Like you could get a decent dupe for like a few hundred rand more. So I mean, it would have been just nice if it actually worked. Like if we find a hidden gem. But I will play with this palette again off camera and you guys will see my favorites, hits and misses. Or I'll update you. Like I'll try a different base, maybe more sticky primer and see if it does a little bit more with a more sticky base. Like like if you can salvage it. Tap that in. Sorry guys, I have like a hair tickling me. Okay. I'm just gonna let that set a little bit. Grab my little powder puff and just gently set that concealer so it's not too sticky. And I know, maybe it should be more sticky, I don't know. Okay, yes, to hope and pray that the glitters do something. But obviously after seeing what we've already seen, I don't have very high hopes. But we're still going to test that, okay. Because the shimmers aren't really shimmers, they're like satin, very light ones. I'm going to go in with this color in the corner, the inner corner of the eye, like over here. Let me do this pinky, silvery color, and we'll put this bright one at the end. So hold thumbs, guys, that this actually does something. Or you get like a lot of glitter payoff, so. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that glitter is freaking awesome. Could the whole palette not be this awesome? Like, seriously? Come on, guys. Fix up your maths. Sorry guys for the interruption, I just had a package delivered, so I just had to pop out quickly. The light glitter is down and looks really good, and I literally had to walk outside like this, like poor me. Poor person delivering, should I say. Probably think like, jeez, what's up with this crazy lady? But anyway, it is what it is. We just have to keep going. Okay, I'm going to go in with this nice blue, which I really hope is as nice as the pink. And we're going to pack it down. One thing I will say, these glitters do have like a silver in them, but they tend to look like a little bit oh shit, that was like a whole chunk of glitter that just fell off. They tend to look a little bit more muted, toned down in the actual palette than what they are in real life and on your flippin' face, which is not a bad thing at all. I'm just going to blend those two glitters together a little bit. Almost seems to feel, normally if you get an eyeshadow in like a glitter palette, it kind of has like a waxy feel. This feels like it's almost got like a glitter adhesive in it, which I'm not mad at, as long as it actually comes off. This side now. actually so glad that the courier company came now, because they don't really give you a time frame on when they're going to come. They just come, and I'm a mom of 3. My life is pretty crazy. Can't just like be at home and like, oh guys, not fetching you today type of thing. So it's perfect timing. Not perfect timing for what it looked like, but perfect timing. I actually want to just give this like a swatch. It really, you guys can see, it's like, and I've like rubbed the glitter, and it actually feels like it's got like some sort of like new revolutionary adhesive in it, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's try this dark pink. Okay, I do, however, feel you need like a pretty dense packing brush to get that product on there, to like let it stick to your brush, or you could use your fingers, but my long nails will not let me do that. This brush is probably a little bit too big. I hope I'm in focus. This color seems to have less silver in it than the other two. Just going to gently blend them together. I mean, this isn't like your everyday look, but I think it looks pretty cool. Like a unicorn mermaid today. That I have to wash off and go fetch my kids from school. I think if I had tiny children, they'd probably be like, oh wow, cool, mom, you're so sparkly. But a 14-year-old is not going to appreciate this at all. Nor will my 11-year-old, and she likes unicorns, so she'll probably be like, what the heck is wrong with my mother? She would be fine with it if I was at home and like physically not going anywhere, but going places, she'll probably want to like hide away. Just try to get the amount of glitter even. Let's blend these two together like that. That is freaking awesome. I wish I actually put out eyeliner, because I think it would look really cool. I'm going to grab the blue again, and I'm just going to press it where the glitter and the matte meet, and then I'm just going to do this crazy thing, which I probably shouldn't, and I'm just going to gently rub that blue above the glitter to meet the green, just ever so gently. Do you ever feel like a part of you wishes they would just like cancel a function you have to go to, so you could just live like your better child self? Because like the inner child in me is like, I want to stay full of glitter. And let's face it, it's taken a hot minute to get this palette to actually give me some sort of payoff. So I'm like, oh, do I seriously have to take it off? But you know what will happen to me? Like, my literal luck will be I'll wash my whole face off and they will cancel. That will be me. I just hope to heaven above me that I can actually get this glitter off, because that's gonna be an epic fail. So take a tiny little blending brush and just try to get that a little bit more precise. And I can feel it getting a little bit more humid, so the possibilities of it being cancelled are slim to nothing. So try add some more of that green, which now, when I talk too soon, this brush seems to be dispersing this green color a little bit nicer. Like, is it just me or can you guys see it? Oh, I have some glitter on my eyelashes. Okay, there's definitely fallout, but I mean, like I said, this isn't the most extravagant palette. I'm not going to do anything under the lower lash line because obviously to wipe that off is going to be enough for me. I'm just going to pop off camera and dust all this fallout off, put on a little amount of mascara and get back to my final thoughts, although I think you guys know by now that how I'm feeling about this palette. Okay guys, I just dusted off the fallout and some of the powder that I had put down on my face to protect it from fallout, which thank goodness I did because the blue fell out quite a bit. But then the blue is the only shade that really had some pigment, and the coral shade. This palette, it's nice, the glitters are nice, the mattes are shit. Let's just get real, they were really crap. I hope I don't get a strike for saying that, but they're really crappy. These glitters are really cool, but to spend 100 rand plus whatever it costs on 3 freaking glitters, to me is just really stupid. There is a more intense shimmer shade, but when I did a little swatch, it just is not that impressive. I had a little bit of a higher expectation for this palette. Like, I really wanted it to do a little bit more than what it did. I mean, if you do this with a green, you're like, oh wow, like really that's gonna work. Even if you rub it on your fingers, you like end up with like Grinch fingers. But you guys saw I tried everything. I wet the brush, which you don't normally do with mattes, and it just didn't work. So for me, this palette is a fail. The glitters are really nice. I think if the colors came across more pastel looking in the pans, I would be more impressed. To be perfectly honest with you, the reason why I grabbed this palette was for the green. I've yet to find like a green that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I'm kind of vibing green at the moment. The darker greens, the James Charles palette, the the Revolution palette with the weed leaves on it, the dacha leaves on, is really good, but this guy is just not for me. So I'm a little bit disappointed, but like I said, I didn't go into this with super high hopes, but I would have liked it to give it a little bit more of a pop of color. But anyway, it is what it is. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a like. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already yet subscribed. Leave a comment down below what you think of this palette. Is it just me? Does anyone have this palette? Has anyone tried it? A recommendation maybe of an eye primer that I could try, but even the neutral tone colors, when trying to blend these together, come across more pink and like not true to the color that's in the pan, which is really sucky. So that's that. Yeah, I don't know what more to say other than I was not impressed, but then again, it is not a high-end palette, so you kind of have to have realistic hopes. But then for an Essence palette, you could spend the same amount of money and get pigment, same as Wet n Wild. So there's that to it too. But anyway, you guys, enough rambling. Let me stop carrying on. I have to get this off and get to school to fetch my kids. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in our next video. Bye.